They seem like just another pair of side characters. One plays tough in the streets. The other stays quiet, moving in the background. But look closer, and you'll see something deeper. Trell and Purdy didn't just show up in BMF Season 4 for drama, they're here for disruption. And if you blink, you might miss how important they really are. Some fans say they're the key to flipping the whole season on its head. Others believe they're based on real people from the actual Black Mafia family. So, who are Trell and Purdy? And why are they starting to feel more dangerous than anyone expected? Let's rewind a bit. BMF has always been full of big personalities from Meech and Terry to Lamar and Bryant. But in Season 4, we started seeing some new names make waves. And two of those names are Trell and Purdy. They weren't just tossed in randomly. There's a purpose behind their arrival. You can feel it. Let's start with Trell. Right off the bat, you know this dude isn't playing around. He's street smart, cold with his words, and always watching everything around him. You can tell Trell has been in this game for a while. He doesn't talk too much, and that makes him more dangerous. Most of his power comes from how calm he is. He never seems surprised. He never reacts big. That kind of silence. That's calculated. Trell's been walking through fire long before we met him. And now that he's here, he's already making moves behind the scenes. When Trell first stepped on the scene, fans had questions. Who is this guy supposed to be? Is he with Meech? Is he with the rivals? Is he setting somebody up? Some fans even pointed out how Trell moves like a boss, but not the flashy kind. The smart kind, the kind that doesn't need to show off to run things. Trell is still new to a lot of viewers, but it's already clear. He's not going to stay in the background for long. Now let's talk about Purdy. She's a different energy entirely. Purdy doesn't jump out at you with big scenes or loud actions, and that's exactly the point. In the BMF world, the quiet characters are the ones you really need to watch. Purdy walks in like she's just another name. Maybe someone's girlfriend. Maybe someone's sister. But in Season 4, it's becoming obvious. She's more than what she seems. There's a scene where Purdy says almost nothing, but the way she looks at a certain character tells you everything. She's watching. She's reading people. She's calculating, too. And she might just be holding secrets that can wreck entire alliances. So far, both Trell and Purdy are treated like supporting characters, but anyone who's been watching BMF closely knows what that usually means. This show doesn't waste characters. If someone gets screen time, they matter. Whether it's power, betrayal, or bloodshed, Trell and Purdy are here for something big, and it's only just getting started. He doesn't smile much. He doesn't talk unless he needs to. And when he walks into a room, people either go quiet or get nervous. That's Trell. And in BMF Season 4, his silence is louder than any gunshot. Trell didn't come in with flash. No dramatic entrance. No backstory spelled out for us. But that's exactly what makes him stand out. In a world where everybody's trying to prove something, Trell moves like he already knows who he is, and he doesn't care if you do. That quiet confidence. That's what separates him from the street soldiers and corner boys. Trell isn't trying to climb the ladder. He might already be at the top, we just haven't seen it yet. The first time we meet Trell, he's not making a scene, he's watching. And from the jump, that's his thing, observation. He's always 2 steps behind the action, but 5 steps ahead in the game. Whether he's in a conversation or just standing off to the side, you can tell. Trell is collecting data. He listens more than he talks. And that makes him dangerous in a world where most men move with impulse. Now let's talk behavior. Trell doesn't bluff. When he says something, it lands hard. No extra words, no fake threats. He looks a man in the eyes and tells him what it is. That kind of presence. That doesn't come from being tough, it comes from surviving. Trell carries the kind of calm that comes from living through real chaos. He's not here to impress anyone. He's here to stay alive and make sure his people do, too. But here's where it gets interesting. Trell doesn't have clear loyalty yet. That's what has fans scratching their heads. He's not fully down with Meech. He's not fully against him either. One minute, it looks like Trell is protecting the crew. The next, it feels like he's feeding info to someone else. That gray area is where he lives. And that's what makes him so unpredictable. Some fans think Trell is just another side boss, trying to carve out territory. But others, they think he's playing a long game. That he's tied to someone way higher up. maybe even connected to an outside crew, one that hasn't shown up on screen yet. There's also buzz that Trell's character might be inspired by a real-life affiliate of the Black Mafia family, someone known for staying in the shadows, but pulling strings behind the scenes. Trell might not be front and center yet, but that doesn't mean he's not pulling weight. His presence shifts the energy every time he's in a scene. And if you've been watching BMF long enough, you know that kind of character doesn't stay quiet for long. Whether he ends up being a loyal protector, a double-crossing snake, or something completely different, one thing is clear: Trell is not just another street dude, he's a problem. And problems in BMF don't go away quietly. You probably missed it the first time. Most people did. She didn't come in swinging. No dramatic shootouts. No heated arguments. No fast cars or loud threats. Purdy entered the BMF world like a whisper in a hurricane, and that's exactly why she's so dangerous. Because in a show filled with gangsters, killers, and kingpins, the quiet one is the one you need to fear the most. From her very first appearance, Purdy carries something different. A calm that feels intentional. Like someone who's learned how to hide power behind a soft face. She doesn't talk much, but when she does, every word lands like it's rehearsed. Not fake controlled. Like she's always thinking 5 moves ahead. In Season 4, Purdy is being set up as something more than a side character. On paper, she looks like she's just there to support someone else's story. Maybe a girlfriend, a cousin, a lookout. But watch the way she moves. The camera doesn't follow her around for no reason. She's always present during key scenes. She's always watching someone, not just standing in the background studying. That's no accident. There's a moment in episode 2 where she's in the room, saying nothing. 2 men are talking loud, trying to flex for control. But while they argue, Purdy just sits back, not blinking, not moving. And in that silence, you can feel it. She already knows how this scene will end. She's not just hearing the words, she's analyzing the men. Their pride, their fear, their weaknesses. And that makes her dangerous in a different way. Purdy represents a kind of power we don't often see in this series, soft power. Not the kind that needs muscle or money. The kind that whispers in someone's ear, and suddenly they're second-guessing everything. She could easily be playing both sides. Or neither. Some fans believe Purdy is a master manipulator, the type who lets men believe they're in control, while she's actually pulling the strings in silence. And that brings us to the real question: what does Purdy want? Because once we figure that out, the whole picture starts to shift. She's not chasing money, at least not in an obvious way. She's not thirsty for status or clout. She plays her role too well for that. No, Purdy feels personal. Like someone who's in the game for reasons nobody sees yet. Maybe revenge. Maybe protection. Maybe legacy. There's also talk in the fandom that Purdy could be based on a real woman connected to the original Black Mafia family. A woman who stayed quiet, stayed low, but moved like a strategist in a game full of gangsters. If that's true, Purdy's character could be one of the biggest surprises this season. Because while everyone else is busy fighting for the crown, Purdy might already know who's going to bury the king. What if Trell and Purdy aren't just new characters? What if they're plants? Not just added for flavor. Not just background noise. But strategically placed by the writers. With a mission to blow the entire BMF storyline wide open. Let's break it down. On the surface, Trell and Purdy are side players. Quiet, calculated. But that's exactly the kind of setup this show loves to use right before everything explodes. Remember Lamar? He didn't start as the main villain, Detective Bryant. He was just another cop until the web got messy. Trell and Purdy are cut from the same cloth, slow burns. But the heat is already building. Let's start with Trell. Fan theories about him are everywhere, and some of them are wild. The biggest one: Trell isn't just running with Meech. He's working against him. Some viewers believe Trell is playing double agent. That every move he's making right now is part of a bigger plan to either take over the crew or dismantle it from the inside. He plays loyal when he needs to. But notice how he never fully commits. He's always watching, always measuring. Trell doesn't pledge allegiance, he calculates risk. One theory even suggests Trell is tied to a new faction, an outside force we haven't seen yet. A player from Atlanta. Or maybe even someone from the old school, trying to re- the game. If that's true, Trell could be a walking Trojan horse, and BMF has no idea what's already inside the gates. Asterisk. Now flip the lens to Purdy. Her mystery runs even deeper. Some fans believe Purdy is linked to someone big, someone we've either forgotten or haven't met yet. A powerful man behind bars, a former boss, or maybe a blood relative of a murdered character. And here's the twist. She's not here for the money. She's here for vengeance. Quiet, patient vengeance. Asterisk. Another theory that's gained traction. Purdy and Trell might not be strangers. Not at all. What if they're actually connected, working together on a slow, silent plan? A tag team hidden in plain sight. Trell uses street power. Purdy uses psychological leverage. Together, they could bring down the whole operation without firing a single shot. Until the very end. Asterisk. The writers of BMF love playing the long game. And Trell and Purdy are the perfect tools to twist the story when no one's expecting it. That's why fans are watching their scenes frame by frame, looking for clues. A look, a word, a glance. Maybe Trell slips a phone to someone off camera. Maybe Purdy hears something she wasn't supposed to. These little moments don't feel random. They feel planted. Asterisk. And then there's this. Death flags. You've seen it before. A character gets too smart, too close, too good at playing the game, and then, gone. Could Trell or Purdy be walking straight into their own funeral? Or worse, could they be the reason someone else we love gets taken out? Asterisk. Whatever's coming, it's already in motion. Trell and Purdy aren't just surviving. In this world, they're rewriting the rules. And the real question isn't who they are. It's what they're about to do next. They've been quiet too long. Asterisk. And in the world of BMF, silence always comes before the storm. Asterisk. We've watched Trell play the shadows, sizing up the game, never fully showing his hand. We've seen Purdy sit in the background, eyes sharp, presence calm, like she knows something the rest of the room doesn't. Now, in the second half of Season 4, all the setup is in place. And if you've been paying attention, you know what's coming next. The fallout. Asterisk. Let's start with Trell. Right now, he's positioned perfectly. Not loyal to anyone, not trusted by everyone. That's dangerous. Because Trell can move in and out of rooms without raising alarms. If the writers decide to pull the trigger on his storyline, don't be surprised if Trell flips on somebody major. It could be Terry, it could be Boom. Hell, it could even be Meech himself. Trell is a classic chess piece, and those don't stay still forever. He's either going to pull a betrayal so clean that no one sees it coming, or get clipped just before he makes his move. Either way, he's not staying quiet for much longer. Asterisk. And Purdy. She's the slowest burn of all. But that makes her the biggest threat. The writers have done something smart here. They've let us underestimate her. No spotlight. No big scenes. But that's about to change. If Purdy is connected to a bigger player or has her own plan, we're going to start seeing her influence increase. Look for the moment when she finally speaks up, makes a choice, or pushes someone in power. That's the moment everything starts to shift. Asterisk. Some predictions say Purdy's going to be the unexpected shot caller by the finale. Others think she's going to get caught in the crossfire, possibly as a tragic loss that sends another character over the edge. But here's what we do know. She's not random. Not in BMF. Not in Season 4. Not now. Asterisk. This season is moving like a fuse, getting shorter with every episode. Power is shifting. Trust is cracking. And right in the middle of all that, Trell and Purdy, two people no one thought would matter. Until now. Asterisk. So keep watching their eyes. Watch who they're around. Watch what they say, and more importantly, what they don't say. Because in BMF, the loud ones fall first. But the quiet ones, they're the ones who change the game. If you've got your own theory about who Trell and Purdy really are, or what they're about to do, drop it in the comments. This story's not done yet. And something tells me they're just getting started.